No one told you it's rude to be staring at people now? Especially when trying to read a book? I'm just playing with y'all. My name is Daniel Garcia and welcome to another edition of Matty Road Center's Friday Art Studio. You might have been thinking now, why is this person on my screen reading a book with all the technology we have? Well, I'll tell you. What I'm doing is the same thing you're doing. I'm trying to find a story to put myself in other people's shoes. And that's what we need now more than ever with the pandemic. I feel like finding stories, we've been doing it at a higher rate because we might feel isolated, but we still need that sense of empathy, right? And so we find stories in all different kind of ways. And I don't discriminate in the kind of ways we do it. If you spend too much time scrolling on Facebook, it can make your day by learning about someone else. Watching the news, binge watching your favorite TV shows, rewatching films, discovering new films, talking to new people, learning about their history. And so yeah, the reason why stories are so important right now is because arguably our biggest story with the pandemic and the coronavirus, it's not a good one. It's not a good narrative. We're not handling the coronavirus that well. And the reason why I say we're not handling it, it's our narrative, is because the way we live with people, the way we interact with them, we're creating a narrative with them without even knowing it. And so to slow things down and to be more therapeutic, I want you to create your own story. Whether it's a day from your life, a dream, the people you love, a very important event in history that you want other people to know, you're going to be able to tell it. And so yeah, to not waste time, let's get started. To begin, worry about what kind of paper you're going to use. Copy paper, line paper, it doesn't matter. Here you have mixed media paper. It's a bit larger than most. So you want to start horizontally, your paper horizontal, and you're going to fold it in half to match the edges. And you're going to crease. Here I'm using the palm of my hand to help. Open up the paper and now you're going to bring the paper inward to the line you just created that goes down the middle. You're going to fold down, press down, and repeat on the other side. When done with this first series of steps, open up your paper and turn it to its long side. And you're just going to repeat what you just did. You're going to do it on its long side, fold it in half, and match the corners. And watch where I start my crease from. Here, I start from the top, and I'm going to bring it towards the middle. You might have had bad experiences in the past folding paper and whatnot, but it's going to be a different story for today. We got this. Open up your paper once again, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold into that line you see going straight down the middle. That line that you just created. Please take your time with these folds and creases. There's no competition. You're doing this for yourself. The better they are now, the folds and creases, the more satisfied you'll be later on. You should have 18 equal squares. It might get tricky, but please use the video as the ultimate reference. So with a pencil and a ruler, and if you don't have a ruler, that's fine, just anything with a straight edge. So the two outer lines that you created through your creasing and folding, you're going to mark them, but symmetrically, and you're going to mark them coming all the way down, but stopping one square short, just as you see I'm doing right now. In the line in the middle, you're going to do the same, but starting from the opposite side, from the outer two lines, and also stopping one square short. And please look at the video if you're getting confused, because this is the hardest part to explain. Again, the visual reference is key. Next, and a fun part in my opinion, is you're gonna, with some scissors, cut away at those lines you just created. cutting, you're gonna end up with this, a continuous flow of paper. And so now this is also fun but tricky. You're gonna fold following those squares, but it's simple. You're gonna fold going frontward and backward, forward and backward. It's never gonna be forward and forward and then backward and backward, none of that. Okay, forward and backward. And more than anything, follow the instinct of how the paper wants to be folded. You're to find a last little crease, and you did that. You could play with it. You made a accordion maze-like booklet. You are not done. You still need to do your covers, and the bases of them could be some scrap cardboard as shown right here. You should have some in your home. Cardboard is everywhere. You want to work with areas that is the most sturdiest, not bent. I would have used the bottom left corner, but as you can see it's bent, so I'm just gonna work off the bottom edge. I'm tracing the outline of this booklet, right? Creating two rectangles and what is gonna end up being the two covers of my booklet. Depending on how well the cardboard responds to the scissors, you might have to use some other materials, and I'll show you those. Kids, if you're watching and doing this is where you ask your parents for help now. And parents, if you want your kids to do this, you're gonna want to help them with these box cutters. This is an X-Acto knife, just a fancy tool for cutting for artists. You don't need it really. Cutting mat board is optional. It's not necessary, but it's just so you don't mark underneath the table. You could work on a table that is not important, which would be fine. So you want to use your ruler, and that's going to help you prop yourself. Opening up your box cutter is even very dangerous. It's very sharp. Be careful out there. Take your time with the box cutters. Set yourself up. Be confident in your cuts. You don't want to be nervous. You don't want your fingers across the ruler when you're cutting, so remember that. You want them towards you, your fingers. And you're gonna cut. What's the best way to cut? Right? A good way is to stand up, cut away from yourself, you're cutting to the side. And make sure you follow through with your cuts. The fruit of this labor is going to be a nice clean cut rectangle. One of the two rectangles you'll make for your cover. There it is. That's what you're gonna make. Or if you're following along, that's what you just made. I'm not sure if it's cover or covers. I don't place too much emphasis on being grammatically correct anymore. And you don't have to either. I'm putting aside the two pieces I just made to show you some pre-made ones. And the design cover them. They might look fancy, but they come from a tourist bag. That's why you see the stamps on them. So yeah, your best friend in this is going to be the Elmer's glue. You need a sort of tray where you could pour the glue. A brush is optional, but you don't need it. I'm going to show you how to do this without a brush. So you're going to fold the corners inward at 90-degree angles. I think that's what they're called. That's how it's going to look when you're done doing your folds from the corner. Next, you want to use your brush to apply some of the glue to those triangles you created from the folds. You're going to crease down with your nails, really whatever it takes to just create nice, good creases. You want to press down for some 15 to 10 seconds. here I'm working fast and I'm just pressing down for 5 seconds at a time. If you don't have a brush, you can use the side of that Elmer's glue tip to apply and also spread the glue. It's kind of, for me, I feel fancy doing it this way without the brush. Very resourceful. I forgot to mention that at this stage of applying glue, it's best to have something underneath so you don't spread the glue, such as newspaper, some scrap fabric like a shirt. If you have a brush, it'll come in handy at this part, but you don't need the brush exactly. I'm going to show you both ways. So apply your glue to the whole entire strip of the one side of the back side of the cover design. Make sure you get the edge of the cardboard. And what I do to help the process faster is I stand up and I'm just going to press it down so that edge is flat. And I'm just going to kind of pull it up and press down and kind of give life to it now. For my folks without a brush, you'll be fine. You might find it a bit more funner. Again, you're going to use just the side of that tip of the Elmer's glue to spread it. Take your time. It's going to get messy, but kudos to you. Art is messy. Your two covers. You did that, or you're going to do that. And from here on out, it's pretty straightforward. You already know the deal. You're gonna pour that glue. You're gonna use your brush or the side of that Elmer's glue, and yeah, you're just gonna glue it onto the cover, one side of the booklet, and then the other side to the other cover. As for applying the end of that booklet onto that back side of the cover, it's gonna be fun. You're just gonna, like, if you're giving life to it, you can do a little karate chop action to it. Just whatever it takes. Apply that pressure, man. Apply that pressure. Oh my god, to not open this up and not have fun with it? It's like not having a soul. You wouldn't be human. It's having fun too quick. Make sure you apply your glue very well. You give it time. You let it dry. You let it stick on. And you did that. You're going to make this. Another approach to this would be doing a big old drawing on the paper before you do your folds. And when you open it up, you can see it all. Now please tell me you are not creative, because you are. Saying you're not creative is like saying you don't have lungs.